What's going on, y'all? I was scrolling through DJ Twitter, or I guess X, today, and I noticed that Pioneer DJ posted an article from their blog. First of all, I didn't know that Pioneer DJ had a blog, but I wanted to talk about this article titled How to Get DJ Gigs. So, this is Pioneer DJ explaining how they think you should get DJ gigs if you're looking for them. The first intro paragraph, we ask promoters from across the globe what they're looking for when they book new DJs. Their responses offer an in-depth guide on how to land your next gig. So I get it. That's a good, reference point. You want to ask the people that are booking the talent because that's really who matters. Be it an actual talent booker, another DJ that's curating a party, or the venue owner. So getting their insights can be, really informative. So the first section, are you good enough yet? Do you align with the club or promoter? A little obvious maybe, but among the people we spoke to, each stressed that mixing ability and whether a DJ sonically aligns with their club or party are the first factors they take into account when booking an emerging DJ. However, considering the different locations and booking policy of these clubs and parties, they each had their own take on how to approach booking new or lesser known talent. Then it goes into interviewing and getting the responses from club owners and bookers around the world. But to echo what they were saying, I think it is, there's a difference between good enough and a really good DJ. And I think that, especially when you're starting out, becoming good enough is really important. Becoming the best isn't necessarily important as this factor, and that's defining your own sound. And that's important because if, especially for a DJ that throws their own party or events, that's usually has a theme or a kind of vibe to it, and they're looking for someone that aligns with that sort of vibe, and that's going to be the most important thing. So once you're good enough to play an hour, 2 hour set and do it consistently, the next thing you really need to focus on is figuring out what your sound is, what kind of music you like to play, what you'd be comfortable playing in front of people, and what brings you joy playing that kind of music in front of people. Now, I know for a lot of DJs out there, that especially DJs that love many, many genres of music, that doesn't mean just shut down and only play one genre, but that means have focused sets that kind of show that you really love a certain genre of music or a certain style of playing, and showcase that. If you like many different things, then showcase those many things. But it's definitely important to kind of narrow down and focus on one thing at a time, or at least put enough effort to show that you can play a certain genre or a certain style to these bookers. Now, the next point is, what are your values? UK promoter, DJ, and producer seeks out originality in new DJs for their event, but they must share the same values and vision as the party, which is a platform for trans plus, non-binary, and female identifying artists. Now, this is a really important point too, especially when you're dealing with someone that's booking a party. It's really easy as a beginner DJ to fall into the trap of, I want to pick up any and every gig I can. And yes, I've done it too when I was starting out. When you do that enough times, you learn that it sucks for you as a DJ, and also for the person throwing the event, and also the crowd, if you really don't share the same values and you don't want to celebrate the values of that party that you're playing. So it's very important. And I'm not here to say one thing is right, one thing is wrong. It's not that. It's every different community, every person has a set of values, and you want to align yourself with the bookers and or parties that share those same values as yourself, because that's when you'll be able to be the best DJ you can be. Next, do you have experience? In Dublin, a co-founder of an event series which takes place in both intimate and large-scale venues across the city, says, while he's keen to book up-and-coming DJs who sonically fit the bill, He also considers how experienced the DJ is before booking them. A lot of our support slots are for fairly big headliners, he said. We'd want someone who is well equipped to do the right thing by the headline act and how we want to curate the night, and that varies. Sometimes the headliner will want you to want a say on it, and other times you might take a chance on someone, or you feel that whoever is closing the night is more musically diverse, so that gives us a bigger range to book from. Again, this is kind of echoing the thought of, if you have enough experience as a DJ, or depending on the kind of party in the booker, they might be looking for a more experienced DJ. And more experience doesn't mean that a DJ that can play a headline set. Especially when you're starting out, you're usually going to get an opening, direct support, or closing set. And when you do that, you don't want to come out the gate, playing banger after banger and like primetime song after primetime song. All of those slots are important for their own certain reasons. And I mean, I'm a headline act here in Vegas for a lot of the parties that I play, but also I love playing opening sets because it's a completely different vibe and it challenges a different part of my DJ brain. And when I say challenge, that means that I know that I have to curate my set differently, play different records, and set the mood and be intentional about where I'm taking the party on the journey to get to the headliner. And then if I'm closing, how do I get from that peak moment and not just have a complete drop off to, the end of the party, but a slow, gradual, climb down, but also keep the party entertaining and keep people in the building dancing and having a good time. And then next we have, what is your motivation? Ask yourself what you want out of DJing. Are you doing it to make some extra cash, eventually earn a six-figure salary, support your profile as a producer, present a unique slant on an established sound? Whatever the case, you might project your motive to people without even realizing it. Also bear in mind that it can take years to quote unquote make it. So if you want to dedicate time and money to pursuing DJing as a career, it might be worth analyzing your underlying motives. And I share that same sentiment. It's very important to realize why you're DJing. And over time, for a lot of DJs, that changes and it evolves just because of where you're at in your career, different, maybe your thought about different styles of music has changed. But it's important wherever you are in your DJ journey to realize why you're doing it in the first place. Now, for me, when I first started, it was just to play records and share the music that I love with other people. As I turned this into a full-time career, that motivation changed, of course, because now I had to start paying my bills and taking care of myself, and now taking care of my family, keeping a roof over our heads, all of our bills paid. And it would be ignorant for me to not realize that my motivations have changed, but also what I cared about in the past and how much I love music and how much I love people's reaction from me playing music is still a very big part of my identity as a DJ and my motivation of wanting to DJ and continuing to DJ. Next, how do you present yourself online? And do followers matter? Now, they spoke to a bunch of different bookers across the world, and mostly one booker in a major city said that they do look at the follower count of the people that they're, up and comers that they might be booking, but a lot of them didn't look at it, that number, for followers or what social media platforms they might be like big and popping on. And, what's funny is that maybe 5 to 7 years ago, to me, that answer would have been completely different. I've seen it firsthand where a booker will book a DJ completely based on their presence online, their amount of followers, their posts, seeing the videos and the crowd reaction, and not really taking a deeper look into what the DJ can do and what they play. And I get it. From a business standpoint, you want someone that's going to fill the club or venue with bodies, and people with a larger following probably have a better chance of doing that than someone with a lower follower count. But as time has progressed and we've seen time and time again these social media DJs that don't really DJ fail and just kill the room over the course of many, many years. And that's not to say that there aren't DJs on social media that can kill it. But we've seen the just looking at numbers thing fail for a lot of bookers around the world. Next, they have build your mix archive. SoundCloud and Mixcloud are where DJs showcase what they're about. It's also where bookers and promoters browse when they're discovering new talent. I think just not SoundCloud and Mixcloud, but you can even showcase this now on Instagram, TikTok, just many different online platforms. And it's important for you to show what you do as a DJ. I know there's, especially for the younger generation of DJs, or just the younger generation period, there is this movement of not keeping up content. You can see it a lot, especially on Instagram. But if you're having that social media account as a business, you got to think of it kind of as your business card, right? These people are going to these social media accounts and checking to see what you got and checking to see the kind of content you have, because this is their first introduction to you after maybe they've met you in person or have been referred, you've been referred to them by somebody else. And it's important that you have links up on all of your social media platforms to your mixes, that you have some form of mixes on these social media platforms, be it a video of you doing a live mix or a transition or something like that. But also, it's having full mixes, half an hour, an hour-long mix, something like that, to really showcase you being able to carry a set is just as important. But don't hesitate from posting smaller or shorter clips of yourself doing your thing, DJing on your social media platforms, as well as Mixcloud and SoundCloud. And let's see, next we have, where else do bookers and promoters find emerging DJs? Similar to these bookers, this booker enjoys going to other parties to discover new talents. However, it's not always possible due to her own stacked DJ schedule. But she enjoys the process of researching potential artists for her party, so she regularly browses SoundCloud and Instagram, as well as her favorite music magazines every week. Just like the point I just made, it's really important, especially for busier DJs and bookers that can't make it out to other parties, to have a presence online in some capacity and show what you can do and the kind of DJ that you are on those social media platforms. Just like I've mentioned previously, nothing beats seeing a DJ in person, especially when it comes to the energy of the room and how that energy exchange interaction between the crowd and the DJ takes place. No amount of video can replace being in a room and seeing a DJ control an entire dance floor and just killing it and having them in the palm of their hands. And being able to do that in person and having a booker there that sees you doing that will always be number one. But a number two, especially for busy bookers and other DJs, is having that online presence, showing that you can do that. Okay, next, does being a producer, promoter, label boss, or part of a collective help? This one depends on the booker or party in question. This booker is more inclined to book DJs who are also producers. It brings an additional layer and creativity to their story. It's something we encourage in our residents and emerging DJs. Make sure to download your production software and start experimenting with your own sound. Now, I will say, especially in the dance music world, and also the beat scene, that's super duper important. As an open format DJ first, for me, it's not as important, but at the same time, I still consistently put out edits, make them available to other DJs. And there's been plenty of times where I've, randomly ran into another DJ and like, yo man, I love those edits you're putting out. I play this one and this one. It can be super helpful, and especially with the amount of free production software out there now and how easy it can be to just come up with quick ideas or at least begin. And also with YouTube having pretty much every single tutorial about every single facet of production available to you to learn from, there's really no excuse to just set aside maybe an hour or two a day or a couple hours a week just to get started and have an understanding of production. And I will also guarantee the more you understand production, it will help your DJing, especially with song structure and how songs are constructed. It will give you a different perspective on how to blend and mix other songs together. approaching a booker or promoter in real life. It might feel daunting to approach a booker or promoter on the night of the party you want to play, especially if they appear busy or stressed. But of the 5 people we spoke to, each said they appreciate it when a DJ approached them in person. And as someone that books their own parties, this is a steadfast rule me and my partner have when it comes to our parties. That if a DJ takes time out of their day, takes time out of their night, takes time out of their schedule to come to one of our events, we are definitely way more likely to book them for our party because they showed support for us and they showed that they have the drive to want to play our party. Also, with that, that's a rule too, because it's very important for us to know that the DJ understands the parties that we're throwing and the vibe that we have at our parties. Because if you don't attend the party, it's very hard to have a reference point of where the party is supposed to go and what is supposed to happen during the night and the vibe that you're curating for the party. So meeting a booker or a venue owner in real life at one of their venues or events is always going to be the best thing you can do. Next, reaching out via email or DMs. In London, this booker understands that not everyone can attend events due to location or otherwise, but DJs can still reach out with a personalized email explaining their reasons for wanting to join the party's bill. The success of such DMs and emails often hinges on how well they are presented, she explained. DJs should take the time to research the platform and make sure their music and style align. They should make sure that what they write is clear, not too long, and well structured, including relevant links to their work, highlighting their experience, and sharing their goals can enhance their chances. Now, especially when it comes to DMs, if a DJ that I've never met before reaches out and says, hey man, I would love to play your party, but doesn't include links to their SoundCloud or Mixcloud, or shares posts of them DJing in that DM, it's a lot harder for me to take that seriously than someone that takes the time to write something personalized other than, hey man, I'd love to play your party. Something as simple as, yo, I love the people that you're booking. I'm fans of them. I love their kind of music. I get an idea of what this party is based on you guys' post. Here's something that a mix that I've made I think fits in with that party. I'd love for you to take a listen to it and, let me know if you think what I play aligns with, the kind of party you're throwing. Those small details, but still keeping it short and concise, make a huge difference. And that'll push you above a lot of DJs that are just like with their hand out, hey, let me play your party. In the last section, parting advice. Ultimately, it's down to skill, shared values, musical alignment, party or lineup you want to play, how you present your work and yourself online, and your in-person and email/DM etiquette. However, every booker and promoter has their own way of discovering and booking new DJs. And I think the biggest takeaway from that is that networking in any way possible that you can is always going to be paramount. If you can go out to events and meet the people involved, from the DJs, the bookers, the bartenders, the security staff, everybody, nothing will beat that interaction. If you're reaching out via email or DM, making it personalized and, showing that you have something to add to that event or party is super important. Just because you are a very highly skilled DJ doesn't mean you quote unquote deserve to play a certain party. Nobody deserves to play any set. It should be earned. It should make sense to the people throwing the event because they're the ones putting their neck on the line, getting everything together to make that event happen. You have to humble your ego a little bit in that sense. Realize that if the party's successful, if the party's been going on for a while, then obviously there's a lot of DJs out there that fit that bill, that deserve to play those sets, and that's why they're playing them. But just keep in mind that your ability to reach out and speak to and grow your network is the most important thing you can do. And that's probably going to be the best thing you can do to get more gigs and play more parties. And with that, that's it for this video. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this article from Pioneer DJ. I'll go ahead and link it down in the description so you can read the whole thing. And also, share your thoughts. What do you think you can do as a DJ? What would your advice be to other DJs to get booked at more gigs, more parties? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Catch you next time.